Thank you for joining us for our annual special presentation, Harvest for Hunger. I'm Richard French. Well, it is a national and a regional health crisis that impacts as many as 50 million Americans in all 50 states. Each year during the holiday season, we on this program explore the growing concern of food insecurity, our neighbors struggling to just put a nutritious meal on the table every night. To give you a frame of reference, 1 million people in New Jersey, they face hunger every day, and nearly 300,000 of them are children. Food insecurity exists in every county in the Garden State, from the poorest neighborhoods to the most affluent. And in order to help the hungry, there are countless agencies, food pantries, soup kitchens available, but sometimes even that is not enough. Now, some of the people who walk into those places, they do receive public assistance, but large numbers of hungry people, they are the working poor, families, senior citizens, disabled vets struggling to put food on the table. Now, over the next half hour, we will speak to those on the front lines leading the fight to end hunger, and we'll hear from the people in need and the volunteers who give of themselves to help their neighbors. Now, we're going to begin, though, with Phyllis One's Charles Watson with a close look here at the people behind the scenes making a difference.
Nearly 1 million people go hungry in New Jersey each and every day, and here in Plainfield, it's no different. On this brisk November day, the need here in this city with a population of more than 50,000 very much evident as city residents line up outside of this food pantry being run out of the local Boys and Girls Club of America.
Good morning, everybody, again. Good morning. Welcome to Bianca Flowers Food Pantry. And we're getting ready to start giving out our turkeys. Everybody was contacted, am I correct? Yes. Okay, because we want to make sure we have enough for everybody, all right? Okay.
Linda Claus, founder and CEO of nonprofit organization Bianca Flowers Incorporated, is something like a fairy godmother for dozens of homeless individuals and low-income families in this community. She opens up her food pantry every week so those who are down on their luck have a resource of nourishment.
Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. You make me feel good. We feed approximately 500 to 600 families a month, and it's still not enough.
But what they do have, they make sure to give away.
Yes.
Okay. Who asked for chicken?
Yes, chicken.
Okay.
Thank you. Some family members are ill, they can't work. Some have families are really combining to make ends meet, because it's not an easy chore or task anymore to continue to live and make ends meet.
And those who do receive from Bianca Flowers Pantry call it a blessing.
It's a good thing that they do give. A lot of people don't want to give, but it's a blessing to give to someone.
But Claus and her nonprofit couldn't make this happen without the help of their partner in ending hunger, the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, which invited our cameras inside of its distribution center to get a glimpse of where the giving begins.
All right, so we're here at the Community Food Bank of New Jersey's Hillside Distribution Center. You know what? This is really where their mission to end hunger begins. So let's head inside and see what this place is all about.
Give them time to box it up.
This place is like really big.
Pretty big, yeah. About 285,000 square feet big.
And this is where the volunteers come and help out?
Yeah, this is one of our volunteer areas where we can facilitate probably up to about 200 people at once.
Thanksgiving is around the corner, but we're not gonna go that far. I'm talking about tonight. Somebody's not able to have dinner.
In fact, the thousands of people who volunteer every year equate to about 60 full-time positions here.
Get everything that needs to be taped to city.
And on this day, the Community Food Bank had plenty. Dozens of teens from the PEP program and Summit using their hands to do some good.
I think it's like pretty nice because I just get a nice feeling when I help people, because it's just like, oh, you're like helping the world become a better place.
It's hard work, but I feel like, it pays off for some people that don't have, It's the least I could do.
And the people whom benefit from the 60 million pounds of food that will be distributed from this location this year alone come from all walks of life.
The face of hunger is constantly changing, and from what some folks might think it could actually be your neighbor, someone who's just lost their job, who's making hard choices between paying a mortgage and actually purchasing food for their family. And it really runs a large gamut of people.
And just as the Community Food Bank is committed to making sure New Jerseyans have sustenance year-round, it's just as committed to making sure thousands of families have a holiday meal. This season, with the help of its partner agencies, the food bank is on track to distribute turkey dinners to 28,000 families, and it's taking those meals from its distribution center directly into the communities its partner agencies help to serve. That's where we meet Linda Claus.
One lady shared with me, she said, "Oh, I'm so excited because I'm so happy I have a turkey for Thanksgiving." That's my gratification, knowing that they will be able to be fed and receive the food.
Back at Bianca Flowers' pantry, the holiday meals are gone in a matter of minutes.
We have no more turkeys. We're hoping Tuesday that we'll have more turkeys for food, so when you come back Tuesday. Okay.
And even when people keep showing up, Claus does her best not to turn them away. At the very least, she tries to give them another option. But clearly, the struggle of hunger is real and full of heartbreak.
We need more people to give versus saying, why me? We need people to start helping more people. And it's not easy out here. It's hard out here for the people. And that really hurts me.
And to stop that hurt, organizations like Bianca Flowers Incorporated and the Community Food Bank of New Jersey need more people to get involved in the fight against hunger. And they say there's 3 key things you can do right now to help. You can start by volunteering your time here at the Community Food Bank of New Jersey or at a local food pantry. You can also begin to donate food to these organizations. Monetary donations go a long way as well. So if you'd like to help, head over to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey's website at cfbnj.org to see what you can do for goodness sake. Charles Watson, FiOS 1 News.
And we continue now with a rare and very special donation this holiday season to the Community Food Bank. And as FiOS 1's Emily Druby tells us, it was very much needed.
The Community Food Bank of New Jersey received a donation they call a rarity.
This is probably the first donation of kosher food that we've actually had in a very long time.
Newark-based company Manischewitz donated thousands of pounds of kosher food. Company representatives say they have been consistent supporters of the food bank, but this is one of their largest donations. In total, Manischewitz donated about 5,000 pounds of kosher food, and that will translate into over 4,000 meals. The food bank is distributing the food to several groups, meaning this food will help over 1,000 people all over New Jersey. Many here tell me this is important because donated kosher food can be hard to come by.
Being able to obtain kosher food is more expensive, and so it's certainly very exciting that we're able to get this donation. We're always looking for the help.
The donations here today includes carrots, green peppers, peas, corn, fish, and kosher chicken, which many here explain is very important.
Kosher meat is significantly more expensive than non-kosher meat.
So it's really difficult for us to get kosher meat in particular.
Telling me that kosher chicken can cost up to $2.50 a pound wholesale.
A lot of people erroneously think that kosher food is food that's blessed by a rabbi, but it has mainly to do with how the animal is slaughtered. It has to be in a very humane way.
Calling the process labor intensive, also saying that with the non-meat products, there has to be some kind of rabbinic supervision, all of which can raise the price. In Hillside, Emily Druby, FiOS 1 News.
On a daily basis, many people facing some really difficult choices. Parents skipping meals so they can feed their kids, seniors choosing between buying medicine and food, and students deciding between their education and eating. Now, coming up, that reality, part of a roundtable discussion with our panel of experts. Also ahead, we tell you about a food rescue program that collects prepared and perishable food that would otherwise be wasted, and it delivers it to organizations serving the hungry. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You know, many believe that it's in the urban areas, the big cities, where the problem of hunger is the greatest. But it is in the suburbs often where poverty and food insecurity hide in plain sight. Joining our discussion right now, they're the warriors spearheading the fight to end hunger in our communities. They lead the charge at the biggest food banks in our area, and they know all too well that hunger does exist in the suburbs, and in fact, it's a growing issue. Now, we want to thank them all for joining us. Randy Shubin-Dresner, she is president and CEO of Island Harvest out on the island. Karen Leese, vice president of development at the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. And Leslie Gordon, president and CEO of the Food Bank of Westchester. Ladies, thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, let's first of all dispel any notions that it's, you know, around Thanksgiving or the end of the year, the holiday seasons where food's necessary. I'll start with you. Talk about how demand has changed right now, where it used to be that maybe Monday through Friday there'd be a lunch that was offered. Now, in many cases, it's a 7-day proposition and it's 3 meals a day.
You know, most of the food pantries that we're supporting used to let the clients coming in come as often as they wanted to. And now most of the food pantries in our network are cutting back and only allowing people to come in once a month or maybe twice a month. And that's because the demand has come up so much. They are nervous that they won't have enough food for everybody, and so they limit the amount of times that people could come into their pantries. And the truth of the matter is that if you're hungry in November, you're hungry in July and January and other times of the year as well. And hunger is 365 days of the year.
It's changed too, hasn't it? Where people have always been hungry, but the volume of people that need help, that are on the margins or that have been a client for a long time, the demand really has spiked.
Well, more and more we're serving the working poor. We know that over 50% of the people that we serve in New Jersey have a working member of their household. So they pay their bills, they pay their utilities, they pay their rent, and there's just not enough left at the end of the month. So if we can supplement that with healthy, nutritious foods, you know, proteins and produce, and give them that extra, then that family will flourish. But if we're not there, and if people aren't helping us to be there, then you see real hardship.
It's interesting. One of the I hear two common refrains every time I talk to people in your world. One is, the greatest day will be the day they're put out of work, where they don't need to do what you guys have to do. But the other thing is, you'd be very surprised who our clients are. Sure. And it's not the stereotype of a junkie or a hobo on the street. You have families coming in. You have working families, as just articulated. You have people that once were volunteers that are even clients right now. There is a changing face, or at least a more I guess, evolved faces to the population that really needs you guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, I often tell people that a lot of Americans are just one paycheck away, potentially, or one job loss or one significant health crisis away from finding themselves standing on a food pantry line or accessing food at a soup kitchen.
I've heard it's a car breaking down.
Sure.
I heard it's one of the parents getting sick. That it's that by a thread, just one little thing that could go wrong. And we dealt with the United Way with their whole Alice program, where they tried to articulate just how many people, forget about that are below the poverty line, are one mishap from it. And that's what's really changed here. There's no cushion.
We, our staff was working with a single father who hurt his hand very, very badly, and he couldn't work any longer. He came to us in tears because he couldn't put food on the table, but when we were giving him food out of our pantry, he whispered to us that he needed toilet paper also, and he was embarrassed. He was scared of the future because he knew that he wasn't going to be able to work again, and he didn't think he'd be able to get enough from the social service programs to be able to support his family. We recently met with a mother who was going through chemotherapy for breast cancer, and was in tears because the holidays were coming up and didn't think that she'd be able to support her family through the holiday season. You know, I was watching some videos that we had of a food distribution to veterans not long ago. I couldn't be at the event, and I saw somebody that I knew getting food from Island Harvest Food Bank. It was somebody that I grew up with, his older brother, and he was talking about his struggles of hunger. We all know people who are struggling, we just don't know it, because when you're living in food insecurity and you can't put food on the table for your family, it's not something that you're going to be talking about.
And we've all heard the stories we've covered in this program, people having to make decisions between buying medicine or literally putting food on the table. And one person gave me an anecdote. They go, you think it's interesting when you walk through? The people that come to the back door because they're embarrassed. Yeah. Sometimes they look like you, Rich. They got a suit on, right? Yeah. And it's that much of a challenge. So if we've effectively communicated the demand and it's not just a holiday thing, let's talk about how people can help. And there's a bunch of different ways they can, right?
Oh, totally. It's such a great time of year to volunteer. Volunteers are desperately needed year-round, but volunteering with your family and showing your children and your loved ones how you can affect change for other. And
for people who think, well, should I get my kids involved? Will that be embarrassing for the clients that are there? You need all the help you can get, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And in the warehouse, you know, you're not necessarily client interfacing. So there's lots of different things that kids can do. We have Girl Scout and Boy Scout troops that come in and repack pasta into smaller bags so that they can go into our family packs into the schools. And we have families that work together staging our produce for our free family farmers markets to get, you know, that produce out into the high need areas. So there's lots of different ways people can contribute and get us ready to meet the need. Also donating. Obviously a dollar can be stretched very far with our organizations, and we say that every dollar equals 3 meals that we can provide to needy families.
People should feel comfortable, one, that anything they can give, whether it's time, food, or funds, it'll be used properly, and also they're going to get back as much as they give, right?
We talk about 4 ways of giving, contributing, because we all, economies of scale, but we have resources to leverage funds that come into all of our food banks. Volunteering is important, and we encourage families and individuals to get involved. And finding resources and helping us to get donated food, because that's another reason why we're all so efficient, because we also depend on donated food. But the 4th thing, I think, is probably one of the most important, and that's actually talking about the issue of hunger. Because if we don't talk about it and we don't acknowledge it, then we're never really going to be moving the needle on ending hunger.
There's a real need that these agencies not only really rely on here, but certainly a lot of people that may even be your neighbor do as well. Ladies, thank you again. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tackling hunger off the field. Some members of the New York Giants are doing their part, and not to be outdone, one very familiar face to Jet fans also making a difference and teaming up with a celebrity chef. We'll be right back. Welcome back. There are many families in New Jersey who live day to day just wondering when they'll have their next meal. But this holiday season, one food delivery company and its customers, they're stepping up. Fox 1's Raven Santana has their story.
When anticipating Thanksgiving, many of us worry about eating too much or sometimes having too many leftovers. But it's companies like HelloFresh that are hoping consumers donate that extra food to those who really need it.
So, we send customers ingredients and recipes on a weekly basis so that we can really make, their home cooking experience easy. So in 2015, we were looking for someone to really partner with that can really make an impact in the community, and that's Table to Table. And on a weekly basis, they come in, they pick up that produce. This week, we're going to be doing 25,000 meals based on the ingredients that we'll be donating.
Each week, HelloFresh delivers boxes filled with ingredients and recipes for 3 meals for up to 4 people for about $60. And now customers will be able to help fight food insecurity by donating their meals. Ahead of the holidays, the company is asking customers if they're planning to pause delivery for Thanksgiving, so they have the option to donate the value of food in their box.
Because folks are busy, they're traveling during the holidays, they'll pause their box. And if they pause their box, they have the option to donate the value of their box. What HelloFresh does is we'll match that donation price and we'll source ingredients for the holidays. So that could be turkeys or seasonal items.
Those items are then brought here to Table in Newark, a community-based food rescue program that collects prepared and perishable food that would otherwise be wasted and delivers it to more than 100 organizations serving the hungry.
They are soup kitchens, food pantries, homeless shelters, women's and children's shelter, drug rehab facilities, veterans homes, pretty much deliver to anyone who is feeding the hungry.
We delivered enough food for over 17 million meals. And that's just in the 4 counties that we serve. This year we're on track to deliver enough food for 18 million. So we have increased the amount of people that we serve by 10 to 30% every year.
Very emotional. Yeah, how people really need. A lot of people will probably not have anything to eat. They will be begging out for food.
In Newark, Raven Santana, FiOS 1 News.
Like everybody knows, football and Thanksgiving go hand in hand like turkey and stuffing. Well, this year, some members of the New York Giants, they left the gridiron to tackle hunger. FiOS 1's Jessica Orban, she has a story from Hillside.
An 18-wheeler truck pulled up to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Above it, the words help and hope, which is exactly what a group of New York Giants players were dishing out Monday. After arriving, the 8-man squad quickly traded in the gloves they wear on the field for oven mitts in order to take frozen turkeys out of the truck and pass them. Quarterback Geno Smith says the task required some familiar skills.
A little bit of handoff, couple handoffs. It was good for the forearms, getting the forearms working. So a little ab workout, so it was good, like a workout on the off day. So we enjoyed it.
The truck was loaded up with 1,500 turkeys donated from Stop and Shop to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey for the hundreds of thousands of people in the state who are food insecure. Community Food Bank of New Jersey CEO Deborah Vizzi says in order to solve the problem of hunger, Thanksgiving needs to be all year long.
We have to be able to feed them in the summertime, in the middle of the winter, when it's not top of mind all the time that there's a holiday coming. So Thanksgiving has to happen. That level of abundance needs to happen in equal ways throughout the year, and we're always here at the food bank to make sure that happens.
Although the Giants haven't had the season their fans might have hoped for, the guys were happy to help and show their supporters that defeating hunger takes teamwork.
Any chance we can come out here and give back to the community. We're happy to be a part of this with the food bank. They're doing a great job, and this is very big for us. We want to continue to be a part of the community, and I think this is a great opportunity for that.
After unloading hundreds of turkeys, the players took time out of their intense practice schedule to volunteer at the food bank, packaging pasta to be given out to the nearly 1 million in the state who rely on food banks like this one. In Hillside, Jessica Orban, FiOS 1 News.
And one New York jet, along with a celebrity chef, served up an early Thanksgiving feast for some lucky folks in Newark. FiOS 1's Emily Gersh has that story.
Turkey, sweet potatoes, and green beans. A lavish and healthy meal served by a familiar face to football fans.
I was brought up in a community that was really unfortunate, and for me to be in a position I'm in today, to be able to come back and at least pull people up from those communities, I feel like that's what all people should do.
The feast was cooked by celebrity chef and president and founder of Elite Lifestyle Cuisine, Carlo Filippone.
I came from very humble beginnings. My parents were immigrants from another country and came here and worked very hard. And it seemed like as hard as we worked, there was always somebody doing better.
The meal was hosted at the Apostles' House on Grant Street, an organization that provides food to people in need with a focus on mothers and children.
We serve meals Monday through Friday every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh, wow. And we have our own cook.
In addition to serving weekday meals to 80 families a week, the Apostles' House also includes a temporary housing shelter, a community food pantry, and a clothes closet.
Besides putting a roof over their head, besides giving them food, it's also a transition living. Over at the homeless shelter, we built a computer center so that the mothers can sit there and fill out an application.
Donald Schauger owns a contracting company that renovated the facilities at the Apostles' House, making it a comforting place to find a fresh start.
Growing up in a single parent and seeing the smiles on the kids' faces today and getting to experience a Thanksgiving meal is really great.
The gratitude felt by everyone who stopped by to enjoy the special meal.
It gives me that good push to keep going. That's what I found here at Apostle House. It's more not just a friendship, it's a family.
In Newark, Emily Gersh, FiOS 1 News.
Now, if you want to get involved and make a difference, and we sure hope you do, whether it be volunteering, making a donation, or even starting your own food drive, please go to cfbnj.org, and you can find all the information you'll need right there. Well, that will do it for this special FiOS 1 News presentation, Harvest for Hunger. Thank you so much for joining us, and on behalf of everyone here at FiOS 1 News, we wish you both a healthy and a happy holiday season.